Good morning, my family. So, I have been up since about 5:30-ish this morning. Got hubby off to work. The apparent adult kids went to work. The children got on the bus and, well, they're all gone to school. And here I am. It's quiet. Cup of coffee. I love the sound of peace. So, today's schedule, we have lots of canning to do. I've got the chicken broth that I did yesterday. I took and divided all the chickens that we had processed from the farm, made our stock on the roaster, and then divided everything up, put everything up yesterday in a cool place so that I could skim the top, and that was from the refrigerator, from fat, and now we are actually in the process of canning. So I am actually following the recipe in the Bald Complete Book of Home Preserving book on page 406, I think it is. Yes, 406, and we're going with the chicken soup recipe. Now, I am low in jars, so we're going to see how this works because I have broth afterwards, which I am going to use quart jars. I rarely use quart jars. I've never really get much, how do I put this, success with them. Sometimes I have some issues with them, but I'm going to pray for the best out of this because what is left of this broth, I am going to can in quart jars so that we can have quart-sized jars of chicken broth. Now, what I have right now, and according to this recipe, we have 16 cups of chicken broth. I have 3 cups of diced chicken, 1.5 cups of celery, carrots, and 1 cup of onions, and then salt and pepper. The problem with this, well, not problem, but with me, I am going to be eliminating the bouillon, which said I could use, and the salt and pepper. Mine is actually going to be plain because I'm the type of person that likes to season after the fact, not during. So I am going to actually leave mine plain, and when we open up a jar of chicken soup, I'm just going to season it all then because I may change it into a Mediterranean chicken lemon soup or whatever I choose to do. So if I do it plain and basic, that leaves me room to be able to do what I want with it afterwards. So that's what we're going to do today. I have chicken soup, chicken broth, and then I have to make some more ghee because we are down to 1 jar of ghee. So I've got a full day today. What I am going to do is I have done broth and everything with you before. Today's video is I'm going to work with you on the chicken soup, and that will probably be what this video is about. In the meantime, I'm going to be working on my others at the same time. So with me having a full canning day, I'm going to have a good amount of jars that I'll be dealing with. But we're just going to work and concentrate on the chicken soup today. So without any more talking, let's get to it. Okay, y'all. So here is our 16 cups of chicken stock. My 1.5 cups. Now, I'm not actually using 1.5 cups of carrots. For a diabetic, carrots can be okay, but not a whole lot. So we're not going to actually add a whole lot of carrots to this. I can make up later on a different vegetable if I want to. Like I said, leaving this plain allows me to be able to add and subtract what I want. So I have 1 cup of onions according to the recipe, 1.5 cups of celery, and we're going to add 3 cups of our chicken. This is pretty much already broken up because I had been, and when that ain't, I'm just going to break them up a little bit, toss them in here, and get my knife so I can cut this in bits. Some of these pieces are big, so I'm just going to break them on down like so. Some of these, yep, some of these are kind of big, so we'll just break them down. It doesn't matter though. I mean, this is already pretty much broken down, so we're just, and I'm not using chicken breasts or nothing. I'm just literally using the chicken from our stock, and what's left I'm actually going to freeze. And then what we'll end up doing is taking this broth, according to the ball book, is bring it to a boil and then simmer it at a low boil for 30 minutes. I know a lot of people don't completely follow the directions on the book, and I did see that there are many ways of doing this, but since this is my first time, I'm just going to follow this book. This is the method that I do. I like safe canning because I like to be able to keep doing what I do without making my family sick. And especially if I'm not sure of something that I ain't never done, I'm going to follow it. So everybody's welcome to do this any way they like. But this is how we're doing it today. And I want to make sure I have a good amount of chicken in here though. And this should be about my 3 cups. Go ahead and give this a stir. That will tell me what we're looking at here. Nope. We need some more chicken. Definitely need some more chicken. I'm just going to keep breaking this down till we get enough, and then we're going to bring this up to a boil. Right now I have it turned on so that it can start to reach its temp. I have the canner already going with my clean jars. Now this says it makes about 4 quarts or 8 pints, just in case, because this looks like it's going to give me way more than what it suggests. I actually have 9 pints in there, but we'll see what we actually get out of this. All right, just a little bit more chicken, and I think we got this. Yeah, that's good right there. So now we're going to bring this up to a boil, and then after it comes up to its boil, we're going to let it sit for 30 minutes. And at that point, we will be back to finish filling up our jars. Okay, my family, so our soup is now finished in its processing of the 30-minute mark. So now it's time to fill up our jars. We're going to see exactly how many pints we can get out of this. The ball book says, and I don't know if how many of you, I'm sure many of you who've been canning know that these recipes can vary. So it's a hit or miss. It claims we can get 8 pints. So we will see exactly how many we get. I'm going to start with 4 jars. Get my ladle. And our, hold on a second here. Going to get our funnel. And we're going to go ahead and get some of our mix at the bottom. Get that in our jars. We are looking for a 1-inch headspace. Y'all, if I told you how good this smelled. I'm on to our next jar. I like the fact that we can have homemade chicken soup and then be able to can this at the same time. We wouldn't have to buy Campbell's, that's for sure. All I'm doing now is just, like I said, I'm taking my mix, adding it to my jars. And so much of it like this. And then adding our broth for our juice to our 1-inch headspace. Fill up this one. And mind you, leaving out the salt and pepper was not a preserving thing. It was actually just for flavoring. In case anybody was wondering, well, did I just stop a preserving process? No, I did not. It just, like I said, it leaves me room to be able to season my chicken soup in different ways if I wanted to. Like the Mediterranean al governo, the lemon chicken. This would allow me to be able to do that. Alright, so now I'm going to take and debubble my jars. Make sure that I get all the air bubbles out of here. Then I'm going to measure my jars for the 1-inch headspace again. Y'all, this makes the perfect, even single-size serving for soup. My hubby, he likes to, when he's working outdoors and cutting our firewood and whatever, he likes to be able to just open up some soup. So this is perfect. Now we do have to add some more because our jars are not completely filled to the 1-inch space. That one was good. This one was not. Okay, so now we'll retest them again. That one needs just a tad bit more. There we go. Okay, so now we've got 4 jars so far. Now I'm going to take, because this had a grease from the broth, I am going to take vinegar, damp cloth, and go along my edges, cleaning my rims really good. Making sure I get all that grease off of here. Now I would, if the timing was the same, I would do my broth at the same time, but they are way different times. So these have to, because they're pints, go for 75 minutes. So I'm just gonna, where my quart jars is about 25-30 minutes. So we're just gonna go ahead and do 2 different batches today of 2 different things. And once these start processing, I'm going to go ahead and make up my ghee. That way I'm doing 2 things at once, multitasking and getting to where I can be able to time everything right and get it all done in one day. This is how I do, is I'll evaluate what needs to be done, timing processes and all that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my lids on each of my jars now. Put my rings on them, fingertip tight. I'll get a cloth to finish that because these are hot, very hot. Let me get this right here. Show you what this looks like, y'all. This is beautiful. Homemade broth, bone broth in top of it. Shoo. You can't buy this at the store. Now we're going to go ahead and bring out 4 more jars. I believe we're going to get more than 8 pints, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of these, and once I get that done, I will let you know how many we ended up with, and we will be right back. Well, this was actually a lovely surprise. So we actually have 11 pints, one short of a dozen, y'all. So now we're going to go ahead and get this ready for pressure canning. We've got our jars in here, double stack, layered. It's not a complete full canner, but full enough for me. I'm happy. When I can have a canner like this, and mind you, a lot of people don't like doing small loads. I don't mind doing small loads. I have been doing small loads all summer, now into fall. And as you saw in one of my videos of the update in the pantry, every little bit counts. So I'm going to take the large with the small, the medium sizes, anything that I can get to put on my shelf adds up. And I am actually adding up for this winter, and I'm really happy about it. So now we have 11 pints of chicken soup going on the pantry, in the pantry as well. So here's what we're doing next. I am bringing my steam up, slow, steady steam. We're going to be doing that for 10 minutes. After we get this done, we start hitting our timer. When we reach about 10 to 11 psi's, pound pressure, I'll be processing these because I am below sea level. I will actually be doing 75 minutes. So at this point, I've done many canning videos, and you could see how that process goes. So we're going to go ahead and get this started, and we will be right back with you. Okay, my family, so multitasking. I'm going to brush up a bit on multitasking and how one person is able to take her entire day before 5 p.m. when everybody starts to gather for supper. How I managed to do this. Everybody starts coming in from off of work and school starting at about 2 o'clock. And so from there on it makes it harder because I basically had to have 95% of everything done before 2 o'clock so that I can start supper and then have it all ended between 5 to 6 p.m. tonight. So what have I got going on? Currently canning chicken soup. So during the last intermission that we had, I went outside. I am now waiting for the 10-minute mark on this. I went outside, did my farm work, come back in, waiting on this. At the same time, over here on this side, I have my unsalted butter rendering down to make ghee. So multitasking, chicken soup, ghee, did my farm work. By the time this is done, these will be finished, and then I will go ahead and pull the soup out of the canner, get it prepped and ready, starting again. So I have about 25 minutes in doing 4 quarts of nothing but chicken broth. In the meantime, once the ghee is done, I'll be putting the broth on the stove and getting it ready about midpoint while the soup is processing during its 75 minutes. So if you can see, I kind of time things. I pretty much know how everything works out. I know how much time I spent on what. And then once all the canning is finished, once the ghee is completely finished, now comes supper. Tonight we're actually having spaghetti, only we are, instead of using pasta, I am using it as spaghetti sauce. Instead of hamburger, I am using ground deer meat or venison. So it's an all-around healthy meal, and that is what we will be having for supper tonight. So I multitask, y'all. I take advantage of every opportunity and every moment of my time to get things done. This is what I do every day, from laundry to canning to cooking to doing what I need to do. And in order to be able to do all this, it takes me to also take care of myself. Now, over the weekend, I had no energy. I know why. Basically, is because I knew I ate the foods that were not right for me. I weighed myself down so badly, I have no energy left. Since taking and making our lifestyle change, I will tell you, I recognize when my body is speaking to me now. It lets me know when I have done messed up. And I never paid attention before. In order to be able to do what I'm doing, I have to keep up my energy. Coffee helps, I'll tell you. But, and then I also drink some energy drinks occasionally, but not very often, because I like to try to be naturally energized. And the only way to do that is eat properly, eat healthier, and I'm able to do all this. So, otherwise, no, I'm definitely not going to be able to do any of this. And my family depends on me here. I don't work outside the home, I work in the home, but in the process of working in the home, my family is taken care of. Me and my husband, he don't have to worry, because I am absolutely doing something here on the homestead to keep us running. So that's how I do it, y'all. I multitask my time, knowing what is where, how much time I'm going to spend on what, and try to see if I can do more than one thing at a time, and then accomplish everything I'm wanting to accomplish. It used to be I only did one thing a day, and honestly, I wasn't getting anywhere. When I started learning how to manage my time, I could get more done, and that is how one person is able to fill an entire pantry, just in the one section that I showed you. I have not shown you the dehydrated and all the other stuff too, so this is how I do it, y'all. So I thought I'd share that with you before I ended this video, because, well, y'all know, you've seen many processing of canning. I get you to the beginning, and then pretty much the ending part is wait for 10 minutes for steady steam. That's a hard sentence to say. But I wait for that for the 10 minutes, then I will cap it, and I will bring it up to pressure between 10 and 11. At that point, I will time it and process it for 75 minutes. When the 75 minutes is done, I turn it off, wait till everything drops down to 0, the pressure comes off, pull the top off, 10 minutes, I wait, open the lid, I wait another 10 minutes, and then I pull my jars out. Now, I will tell you, I do open my lid, but I don't pull it completely off. It saves from too much siphoning, for one. I choose to do the length of time. You don't have to, but it's basically just 5 minutes. I give it the extra time to prevent siphoning as much as possible, so that's up to you. I'm going to take the 10-minute intervals, and then I will put my jars up, and then I'm going to go ahead and start processing another round. It's a small round, so it's worth it. Finishing off the rest of my broth, and I will have a good canning day plus ghee, and then make my supper. So I'm hoping any of these information videos that I give you on how I manage the homesteading here, how I manage my time each day, and how I'm actually able to keep up. Because I've had many tell me, how do you keep up doing this? Well, that's why. I got to take care of myself to do that. So I love each and every one of you, and until next time, I got to get busy on the homestead. I've still got plenty of time to keep going, and I got to get things done. So much love to you. Until next time, from Parton's Heritage Homestead.